Good morning. I'm good. What about you?
I'm also fine. Thank you for asking. So my name is Himanshu, and I'll be your instructor for this session. Okay.
Yes.
And I think this is our first session together, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Not together.
So
This is my first session actually.
okay,
Yesterday
this is
we
a
had.
first session. Okay.
Yes.
Yesterday you had a demo session.
Yes.
So tell me, how was your demo session yesterday?
It was really good. I was connected
Very
with
nice.
Ashima ma'am and she was really very good with her language and
Mhm.
everything. I enjoyed
Okay,
it. Yeah.
for sure. Okay, so can you tell me something about yourself, and then we will start.
Yeah. My name is Karishma. I am basically
Mm-hmm.
a married woman. I have a kid.
Mm-hmm.
Professionally, I'm an advocate. I'm practicing
Mm-hmm.
in IPR, intellectual property rights, and this is because I want to learn this speaking English. Because
Mm-hmm.
obviously, in this profession, we need to be a perfect. We must have the good
Absolutely.
command over the language. Then only you can go ahead in this profession. So that is why I'm here, and I just I'm very positively connected with the Clapingo so that I can improve my communication skills.
Definitely. Okay, so you're an advocate. So where are you from?
I am from Gurgaon.
Gurgaon only, right? Okay, that's nice.
Where are you from?
So I'm from Uttarakhand. Have you heard? You must have been to Nainital.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah, but I stay in Gurgaon. But I'm from
You are
Uttarakhand.
also staying in Gurgaon.
Yes,
That's
yes, yes.
really nice.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Okay, so tell me, like, what all things do you want to improve, or maybe you can tell me the challenges which you face when you speak to
Yeah,
someone in your
yeah. I want
office, or
to
maybe a
share.
random stranger. Yeah.
Yeah, the thing is that I am really bad with my grammar. I have
Mm-hmm.
never focus on my grammar. I was passed out actually from a Hindi medium school, so I studied
Mm-hmm.
Hindi till my graduation. And
Mm-hmm.
after that, I used to select this LLB course, and that is in English. That I cleared in English, but still my grammar is really weak. So whenever I used to speak sentences like had been, have been, has been, or like did,
Mm-hmm.
does, I every time I confused. I don't know where to use them.
Basically tenses and all these verbs, tenses and everything. Okay, no worries. Okay, so when you say I passed out, so passed out means to get faint, like to passed out.
Okay,
So you can't
okay,
use passed out here. Okay,
okay,
so you
okay.
can say I graduated, or maybe I completed my education from this and this year. So passed out is a phrasal verb which means when you lose your consciousness, behosh
Okay,
hona, basically, right?
okay.
So that is the meaning of passed out. So yeah, in this session I'll tell you what all things will be done. So basically this is our first session together, and yours also. So we'll have a general conversation. So I need to know how well you can speak right now, and what all areas of improvement you need to work upon. Okay, so the first activity is about your daily routine. I'm going to ask you some questions, the things which you do every single day. Okay, so shall we start?
Yeah.
Okay, so my first question for you is, at what time do you wake up in the morning?
I wake up at 7 o'clock in the morning.
7 o'clock. Okay. And at what time do you have your breakfast?
Around 9 o'clock. I have my
Nine.
breakfast around 9 o'clock. Yeah.
9 o'clock. Very nice. And at what time do you go to your office?
I go to my office 9:45 and I reach by 10.
Okay, 9:40. Okay, so I think your office is quite nearby from your
Yeah,
house,
very.
right? Okay, so in the afternoon, at what time do you have your lunch?
I have my lunch around 2 or 2:30.
2 or 2:30. And at what time do you come back home?
I the same time I came back home because actually right now I'm practice in a district called Gurgaon, so I used to
Mm-hmm.
come back
Mm.
around 2 o'clock and then I have my lunch.
Okay, so when you say I used to come back, so used to is used for past habits. For example, I used to play football. What does that
Hmm.
mean? That means I don't play football anymore. These days I'm not playing football. I used to play football. So just say I whatever you want to say, just use the present simple tense. So what did you say? I used to come back.
Came back. I said came back.
Came back, right? So came is past tense. You will say I come back around this time. Simple. Used to is used for a past habit.
Past habit.
Okay.
Okay. Yes.
All right. So at what time do you have your dinner?
Most of the days I have my dinner around 10 or 10:30.
10 or 10:30. And at what time do you sleep?
Around 12 or 1 o'clock sometime.
1 o'clock. Okay. So this was your overall daily routine. Now I'm going to give you a small task. You will tell me about this routine again, but this time I'll not ask you any questions. That means you'll continuously speak about it from morning till your bedtime. And moreover, I asked you some basic questions about your routines. If you want, you can add something more, like something about if you have a morning routine, if you do some yoga exercise, you can mention that. And that way you take care of your child, if you send him to him or her to school at a specific period of time. Just try to be a little descriptive about your day. And yes, try to make proper sentences and use present simple tense only. Okay. Yeah, come on.
Um, I get up early in the morning, 7 o'clock. Thereafter,
Mm-hmm,
I just take a shower and get ready. Thereafter,
mm-hmm,
I went down because my baby used to sleep with my grandmother. So I wake him up, and after waking him, I make him ready for the school. I cook food for him. I packed his lunch. One fruit box is also there, and what lunch box. And then 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 the school bus come around 8 o'clock, and then he leave for the school. Thereafter, thereafter I prepare my lunch. Usually, I prepare one vegetable along with the dal and
mm-hmm,
rice. And in breakfast, we usually have parathas.
mm-hmm,
I prepared everything before 10 o'clock so that I can leave for my office around 10 or
mm-hmm,
maybe 10:40 sometime. So I leave for my office at 9:40. I
mm-hmm,
reached there around 10 o'clock, and I work with my seniors and attend a few hearings, whatever planned for that day. Thereafter, I come back home around 2 o'clock.
mm-hmm,
After coming back home, I take shower again and then have my lunch.
mm-hmm.
After having lunch, I take rest for at least 1 hour. That time my baby also that time my baby was also sleeping. No,
My
I don't know.
baby also sleeps.
Okay, that time my
Simple
baby
tense.
also sleeps. Yeah. So I take rest for 1 hour. After getting up in
Mm,
the evening, I go for a walk. This is my
mm-hmm,
daily routine. I never forget to walk. I walk at least 1 hour in a day. That's a
wow.
compulsion. And after coming back from my walk, I take my child along with me for a walk.
Mm,
And thereafter we came back, and then I start prepare for dinner. Usually we have roti in my chapati in my dinner, not
mm-hmm,
rice, because my husband is not fond of rice. So
mm-hmm,
I cook only chapatis for him, and
mm-hmm,
a little rice for my grandmother, because she is a Bengali, pure Bengali, and she loved to eat rice even in lunch, in dinner, and every time. So I
mm,
cook dinner for them, and then we play with my baby. I help him in his homework,
mm-hmm,
and we played together for a while. And then my husband came from office around 9 or 10 o'clock. No, 9 o'clock. He
mm,
also play with my son for a while, and then we have our dinner together around 10 o'clock.
mm,
Then then my baby sleeps, and I go to bed around 11 o'clock. Thereafter, I
mm-hmm.
used to watch many YouTube videos. That is on Clapingo. Basically, I used to
Mm,
Clapingo conversation. Even
mhm.
yesterday night, I also watched few of your videos with
Okay.
some other students, and that is it. That's my day.
Very nice. Okay, so this is something about your day, and so yeah, like you're taking care of your family, making food in the morning, going to office, and then following the same routine. Great. Okay, so you spoke well, but only problem is with the grammar. So I'll let you know all these things so you can be mindful about them. So when you say I went down, like you said after waking up, I went down. So this is simple past tense. If I ask you at what time did you wake up yesterday, then you can say I woke up yesterday at 7 a.m. and then I went down. Because I'm asking you about today's what, Wednesday. If I asked you about Tuesday or Monday, then it's fine. But if I ask you about a daily routine, you will use present simple tense. So you'll say I go down to wake
Oh,
my child up. whatever it is. Okay.
Everything is
And
in
when
simple
simple
tense.
present tense, yeah. So I'm just introducing you the simple tense today. In the next session, we will cover the simple past tense also. Okay, first thing. Second thing, when you say I make him ready for school, so I make him ready should not be the right word. You should say I get him ready. Whenever you say okay, I'm getting ready, you say like please wait for me, I'm getting ready. So yeah, I get him ready for the school. Just a simple word, nothing else. School bus comes.
Arrive.
COME, I come, you come, she comes. When you talk about third person in singular, so bus is like we are first person, second person, you're talking about a bus. That is third person in grammar. So school bus comes
Come.
at 8 a.m., whatever the time is. Okay. Okay. And the last thing, my husband came from office. My husband comes from office at this time, and we have our dinner together or something. Okay. Because see, daily routine is something which happens every day. So it's a repetition, it's a habit. So we always use a present simple tense for that. For example, if I say I play football, which tense is this? Present simple, correct? If I say I will play football,
Future.
future simple, correct? I
Hmm.
played football,
Simple past.
simple past. Very nice. So these simple tenses are now clear. Okay. Now I want you to tell me something about your hobbies, like apart from your professional commitments and you taking care of your family. What is that one thing which you love to do in your free time?
Scrolling on YouTube. That is my
Scrolling on YouTube. Okay.
I
So what
scroll
kind of content do you watch?
only English content. I'm
English
desperate
content.
from last 1 year to learn this language, and that is why I used to scroll every time. Even when I was cooking, I used to start some video on YouTube and start watching, at least listening, not watching exactly. Watching is
Mhm.
not the correct word here. So I used to
Mhm.
listen to videos while I was cooking. I was doing
Great.
anything. I just put the phone around a corner and start listening them. I'm very
Very
desperate.
nice.
Yeah.
I really loved your enthusiasm that you really want to learn this language because when I was learning, like initially in back in 2016, so I was also from a Hindi medium school up till seventh standard. Yeah.
Okay.
So when I was learning, so I used to do the same thing. Like when I used to travel in metro, I used to listen to, these audio articles or maybe book summaries. So I made sure that I'm utilizing my time and I'm trying to learn something. So when you cook, you're listening to something. That's a great thing. So okay, now if I have to give you feedback for this session, I think. If I talk about your confidence level, that was good. So you don't need to worry about that. And your rate of speech, the way you speak fast or slow, that was moderate. So you should always speak in a moderate tone. So if you try to speak fast, you will make mistakes because your brain won't be able to process things. And if you talk really slow, the other person who is listening to might get bored. So this is appropriate. Okay. You should always speak in a moderate rate of speech. All right. And so, as you said that you have some issues with tenses and everything, so I would recommend you a few things now. So, for present simple tense, I have told you daily routine. You can practice this. You can write it down somewhere. You can read it once in a like twice in a day. You will understand like how it works. So, whatever language you learn, it is learned subconsciously only. Like in your case, your native language is Hindi, correct? Where were you born, by the way?
In Delhi.
In Delhi only. Like, so you speak Hindi since childhood. I also speak Hindi since childhood. Why? Because we've been listening to it since our childhood. So now you will listen to something in English every day. For starters, I would recommend you start listening to some short stories. Apart from these clapping conversations, go to YouTube, search short English stories because stories will help you in two things. You will learn how to improvise your words. Basically, you will listen to a story, and then when you will tell that story to me in the next session, you will
That is
play with words because you can't exactly tell a story because you can't remember every word, but you will improvise your words, right? And stories are in the past, so you will learn past tense also with that. Okay, this is for listening and to improve your fluency. Now for your sentence structure and to learn some vocabulary, the best thing is reading. So how do you travel to your work? By car, by metro? How do you travel?
auto.
Auto, right? Okay, all right. So I would recommend you a book. The name of the book is Atomic Habits. Get this book, Atomic Habits. If you want, you can write it down somewhere. Or shall I write it down in the chat box?
There is the chat box. How to open it?
There's an
Okay.
option, more option, and then chat.
Okay, I can see you have written.
Okay, so when you read this book, basically this book is about habits, like how tiny habits can give you remarkable results. So the language of this book is quite easy as in it's intermediate, not easy, not hard. So it's appropriate for you. And while reading, I want you to underline the words also. And I will show you in the next session if you get this book or not. Basically, I'll tell you how you can use a word in a sentence. So you can remember a lot of words, but while speaking, you can't get these words. Why?
Yes.
Because you don't make sentences with these words. So whenever you find a new word, you just maintain a diary. I maintain a diary. So I just write down a word, whatever I learn. Every day I learn 2 to 3 words, maybe while talking to people, while reading something. I make 2 sentences each on my own. So you can also try this thing. So I know you have a busy schedule throughout the day, but I want you to give at least 30 minutes for your spoken English every day, for your conscious reading and your listening. Or other times, if you're cooking, listen to something, that's okay. But consciously, you have to give 30 minutes every day. Okay.
Yes.
And prepare a short story for your next session, 3 to 4 minutes. You have to speak on it for about 4 to 5 minutes. Okay. And I'll teach you the usage of simple past tense in the next session.